Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Weather Central forecast. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And in today's forecast, we will be going over an April Fool's snowstorm. This will be affecting, like I said, April Fool's Day, which is tomorrow, April 1st, into April 2nd. This will be affecting parts of the more interior Northeast, which are obviously the coast of the Northeast will still be seeing some snow, just not as much. And I'll go over why in just a second. But before we do start off with this forecast, I do want to start off with that disclaimer that these forecasts are my opinion. They are based off of model guidance and past occurrences of weather. For the most accurate and up-to-date weather, please consult your local National Weather Service office, as they will have more accurate and up-to-date information than I will on these major events throughout the United States. Also, I would ask that you guys would like and subscribe, as this will help my forecast get out to as many of you guys as possible, so we can try to keep everyone in the United States weather aware. I hope you guys do enjoy this forecast. So here is what I'm thinking for the system as of right now. So, I'm thinking, we will have some cold air dropping down from the north that will, move down to the southeast all the way up into the northeast as well. Where this is right now, I'm expecting that this pink region to, see that heaviest snow. There really is going to be a sharp cutoff between Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire there into Massachusetts and Connecticut. That's because we are going to be seeing some warm, coast temperatures out here because of the water. That it's really not going to support that snowfall as much. You're going to need a lot of cold air to, kind of compensate for that warmer Gulf air down there, or not Gulf air, but the warmer ocean air. In this purple here, I'm just thinking just general snow, anywhere from 2 to 6 inches. We'll go over that though with the models. And then this blue, I'm thinking just some snow. You might see some isolated flurries. You might see an inch or two. It really just depends on when that temperature does change to, below freezing. So that'll really just depend on how much snow you guys do get. So here we are with today's 2-meter temperature analysis. You can see it was a very mild day to even cold up into the north. You can see right here a very sharp cutoff here. You can see, a definite boundary line of where that front is moving in right there. With those really warm temperatures down to the south and east of that front. You can see 80s up to even 90s in parts of Florida still, extending up into some parts of Virginia Beach, which is about to experience that front and switch to some very mild temperatures. Like I said, very mild day throughout the United States. We only saw 60s into Texas, some isolated 50s up into the more northern panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. Some parts of the north didn't even get above freezing. Like I said, this is going to be that, cold air mass that will be dropping down south and east. It'll be very temporary, maybe a couple of days, and then we're going to see some very warm temperatures behind it for most of the United States, which is something that we should be looking out for and stay excited for that. You can see pretty nice day up into parts of the extreme west into California, seeing 80s kind of scattered throughout these areas, mostly 70s in those cooler temperatures up in the more mountainous regions. And same here on the Rocky Mountains there. So overall, pretty mild day for the United States. So here we are with our GFS 2-meter temperatures. You can see right here in the northeast, you can see a definite sharp boundary cutoff here that it separates Ohio Valley from the northeast right now. That is with that cool front, or that cold front that is moving through. You'll see that this will become predominant through these areas. Later on, you can see some 60s still in the West Virginia, but that is likely to change as, you're seeing a couple 100 miles west, 52. You can see right there that warm front, or that cool front, really does take place here. You can see a definite boundary here that will be moving eastward. And, mostly during the day, the precipitation will stay rain, and then it'll change quickly over to a rain-snow mix as this cool front will be moving through to change that precip to snow and an icy mix. You can see very cold temperatures moving in. Anywhere in these reds is 32 or below. And that's for a good portion of the north. You can see not really much of the northeast. Actually, none of the northeast has gotten freezing, except for some parts of south central Pennsylvania. You can see right here, though, that cold air really becomes, very, identifiable here. You can see some very warm temperatures still into Maine, but some very cold temperatures into New York, wrapping back down to the Ohio Valley, where we're seeing 30s and 20s. We're seeing teens up into parts of northern Michigan right there. So this is going to be a very cold snap here before it does warm back up. We can see during the day it might get a little bit warmer, but then that cold air just resurges back for the night. You can see teens into parts of northern New York here, teens into parts of New Hampshire, up into some parts of southwestern Maine, and almost single digits down into parts of the more mountainous regions in West Virginia there. So it's a very cold temperatures to say the least. Where you're seeing these, let's move this back one more, where you're seeing these kind of purplish right here is where you're seeing those teens right there. So just south of northern New York there, where that 15-degree mark is, you could be seeing some single digits, and those wind chills added on to that will be very cold. So this is going to be, a very big cold snap before it does decide to warm back up to our normal spring average temperatures. So here we are with the GFS here. We're going to be taking a look at snowfall totals with this. Then we're going to go over to the rapid refresh and the HRRR if it does go out far enough, and the NAM 3K model. So we're going to be looking at a bunch of different snowfall totals, but I do want to see what the GFS is picking up for the setup of this storm. So what I've seen already is there's going to be some precip throughout tonight for mostly the northeast. It's going to move through initially as rain, and then you're going to see a secondary surge of moisture that will be in the form of snow as it does turn to nightfall. So you can see here some very heavy precip off to parts of New Jersey, onto Delaware, onto Maryland as well. And you're seeing just some general light, rain showers up to the north. We're still seeing temperatures well above freezing up into the 40s. You can see, though, we're getting some 20s already into parts of Michigan, and that's just going to move down south and east and really going to cause some very cold temperatures. You can see we're already seeing some snow mixing into parts of eastern Kentucky, into southwestern Virginia, into some parts of southern West Virginia there, into parts of Pennsylvania and the Ohio Valley as well. And that's really just going to come very predominant throughout these northeast regions, excluding the coast here. And you guys will see that as we move this on. You can see pretty, widespread snow coverage here. You can see temperatures are just around freezing, though. So if we don't get those temperatures to, decrease as quickly as this model is showing, you could be seeing, not as quick of a change to rain snow mix here. But definitely, I do believe that there will be snow. But you can see we're seeing some 33. So it isn't going to stick initially. But if you do get those very heavy snowfall rates, you could see some sticking onto grassy surfaces and maybe roads. You can see some very heavy snow into parts of Pennsylvania up into southern New York here. We're seeing temperatures just fluctuating above and below freezing there. You can see 34 into parts of Pennsylvania, but 30 just a couple hundred miles north. So this is going to be something that you're really going to want to monitor that temperature, because like I said, if it does dip below freezing, anything will stick if that temperature is held for a little while. You can see that as this front moves through, we can definitely see 20s and below freezing temperatures throughout parts that are west of this front. You can still see those some 40s into parts of Hartford, Connecticut, and off to some parts of eastern Maryland or Massachusetts. You're still seeing 50s. Maine, you're still seeing 40. So that's why there's going to be a very sharp cutoff here, like my forecast was showing earlier. These are also what models are predicting. So let's go ahead and look over the snowfall totals for the system for the GFS. So this is what the GFS is showing in terms of snowfall. You can see this kind of matches up with my forecast, not really though, but same kind of some possible snow, maybe a couple of inches accumulated at some times for these areas right here. You can see there's a very sharp cutoff though in Maine, where you're seeing those very warm temperatures from the ocean really becoming predominant more than that cold front moving through. You can see those some 6 to 10 inches of snow, some embedded amounts of 12 plus inches, especially in the parts of more northernest Maine, into some parts of extreme upstate New York there. You could be seeing, pockets of 12 inches embedded throughout those areas. Generally, though, if you're in this blue, anywhere from 2 to 4 inches, maybe isolated higher amounts of 6. So I actually 2 to 6 inches if you're in these blues. If you're in these grays, expect anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 2 inches of snow. If you're in that darker grays, you're going to be seeing more closer to 2. If you're in those lighter grays, expect maybe a trace of snow. So, GFS kind of intensified for parts of Maine throughout the comparison of the other couple days models. But kind of really died down off to parts of New York, but I do expect them, though, to still see some significant snowfall, especially for this kind of becoming an event out of the blue over the last couple of days. So here we are with the rapid refreshes version of this. You can see still a very predominant sharp cutoff between 2 inches of snow and just a light dusting of snow. Still generally 2 to 5 inches, maybe up isolated amounts of higher of 6+ inches throughout these areas that I just circled there. And then as you get more off to the north and east is where you're really seeing your main bulk of snow, where you could see this model indicating maybe some amounts over 12, generalized throughout parts of northern Maine into some parts of north central Maine, and still parts of northern Vermont and northern New Hampshire still seeing some very significant snowfall. Actually, I should say most of Vermont is seeing significant snowfall, anywhere from 2 to 10 inches of snow. Obviously, the higher concentration will be in northern Maine there, northern Vermont there. Still showing up or extreme upstate New York seeing some pockets of 6+ inches. Syracuse 4 inches, New York none. New York kind of seems to be in that bubble of no snow, and they're even showing a couple of inches possible just south and east of Cleveland, in the parts of the Ohio Valley. We're going to be seeing some of that snow dig down into parts of the more mountainous regions down just west of the Mid-Atlantic. And lastly, here is the NAM 3K model. You can see a very big difference compared to the other models. This might be an outlier, or this might actually be picking it up fairly well. So, don't be mad if you don't see all this snow, because obviously the NAM 3K is picking up that you won't see much snow throughout these regions for the snowstorm. You can see, though, they're still putting northern Maine into the bullseye of this, seeing over 8 inches of snow. Still some of the more mountainous regions up to the interior northeast seeing that higher amount of snowfall. Still extreme northern upstate New York still seeing anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of snow. It shows an isolated pocket of maybe 8 or 9 inches of snow. Same thing here for Vermont and New Hampshire. So, this probably isn't picking up as cool of temperatures making its way down. Obviously, they're showing no snow east of this line right there. So, we're still really going to have to see here. It's not definite whether any of these forecasts are correct, so you really are just going to have to, stay monitored with your guys' local National Weather Service office. Like I said in my disclaimer, they will have more accurate information than I will on this storm. Even though it's a day out, there's still so much uncertainty, given that some of these models are showing this, vast difference of totals. So if you guys did enjoy this